Hello everyone, this is the next lesson from Serene about wire wrapping, and today we're going to make gorgeous connector. I used here two types of winding. One type you already know, which is the basket winding, and this is the new one for you probably. I've never shown you before in my lessons. This one is called number 8 style of winding. So because the type of winding very similar to number 8, while you're winding you're making the shape of number 8. So that's how it looks like. So I use the small sparkles, the crystals, AB crystals. You can use small beads which are which is useful for thin wire, because sometimes small beads have a small holes, not enough big to put the wire inside. That's why I prefer small crystals or big conusses. So first, to create this connector, of course I made some drawing on the paper, which I used like cliche. So this is two wires connected together. First one made of thin wire, 0.75 millimeters. So you see the shape. And the thicker one, 1 millimeter copper wire, which is this element. Very simple to do. Just you take the wire, put it on the paper, and press on the paper and make a shape straight away on the picture you draw. My first picture was this one you see now, but I made it a little bit smaller because I'm going to make a bracelet with a little bit smaller connectors, but the shape is the same. So as you see, very simple to make. Just put the wire on the picture, just press a little bit and make a shape directly on the paper. If you're gonna make earrings, necklace, so you need lots of these connectors, just use the one cliche and make lots of the same shape wires. So that's how I finish the ends of the wire. Just you put the crystal and now you make a loop. Don't make a loop too close to the end of the wire. And first I'm matching them together to make sure that the length of the wire is correct. As I said, my one is a little bit shorter. That's why I used another connector to check out the size. If I made bigger ones, I would use the cliche drawn on the paper. So that's how I make a loop. I made it just to organize the ends of the wire. If I don't want to use the fire, for example, to make a drop on the end of wires, or I don't want to use hammer to make it flat, so the ends must be organized. So that's why I put the small crystal and make a loop, but don't make a loop too close to the ends of the wire. Why? Because it gives too much tension on crystal and you can break it when you will make this loop. So the crystal must be somewhere in the center of the loop, but not in the end, because crystals made of glass, and if you give too much tension you can crush them. So be careful about. Now make sure that the shape is exactly how you need before you start winding. My one is ready, so that's the shape I really want to get in the end, so I'm satisfied about the form. And now I start to connect them together by make some loop around just to fix them. Actually, this lesson I made to show you the number 8 style of winding, because I never shown it before in my lessons. Actually, because I find this winding style a little bit more difficult for beginners. The basket style actually is more simple because you can give yourself a possibility to stretch the wire strongly. This kind of winding created to connect wires which have distance between each other, even a big distance, 1-2 centimeters like mine. You see that I'm going to connect them with a big distance between. So you see that very interesting shape, and I want to fill this distance with the wire inside, so it all will be covered, and I want to make it accurate. So let me do some actions just to start, because it will be not really visible for you, and when I will reach the center I will show you direct actions how to make this style of winding. Actually, the principle is the difference. The main difference is that when you made the basket winding, you connected both wires together just by twisting and turning the wire around both wires. Here is a bit different. In this kind of winding, you will put the thin wire between them, all the time between. So I already made some job, and now I'm in the center, and now hopefully it will be more visible for you. So you see what I do. I put the wire in the center, and now the wire comes from the back side of my connector, and now I have to return it back to the front side. I do it on my finger. I make it flat, and each time I'm pushing the wire and pressing it to make it flat. This is the main secret of accurate look of this style of winding. And I gently stretch the wire, much more gentle than you did in a basket style, because I don't want to connect two wires close to each other. I don't need it. I want to keep the form. So that's why I spread the tension of stretching on the surface of my finger, and if you now look in the center of my winding, you see that the shape is exactly like number 8. That's why it's called like that. So I do absolutely the same actions during all length of my winding. So I put the wire in center and return it to the front side, and again put in it inside of the center. Do it gently and make the wire go straight. It must not be damaged, otherwise the work will be not tidy. I am sure that the first time of your practicing it will be not really successful, but be patient, and after you make 2 or 3 connectors like this, you will do it much better. So turning it to the front side, and then return to the center. So the wire comes inside of the center only from the front side. This is the main rule. And spread the tension of stretching on your finger. It gives us a possibility to make all loops look the same. A bit more difficult for me because I have to move my hands around just to show you on cam. But the best way you can do is to fix your elbows on the table, or if you're working not on the table, just hold them somehow on your knees, and do the same actions with the same tension, with the same speed, so that will make it work more accurate. So I didn't really want to make this lesson too long, but I guess if you watch the long video about, you will understand better, because if you see this kind of winding first time, it creates lots of questions how to do that, and you need to watch it a little bit longer to understand how to make it correctly. If you are just starting to learn about this kind of winding, but the best thing you can do is to start with the connector like that, but not on the ready design. When, for example, you created the shape on the stone, on the pendant, or on the ring, and only then you start winding. It's a little bit more difficult, but this flat connector will give you a possibility to touch the wire from back side and front side, and it's much more comfortable way to learn. So just if you want to learn quickly, just make as many connectors as you can, and create, for example, a necklace, long necklace with this kind of connectors, and you will practice to control the distance between wires, just to make all connectors the same and symmetrical, just for practicing. So you see, now here is not too much space between wires, and now maybe you will see better. When we were making basket winding, were looping both wires around. Here I also looping both wires around, but I always putting the wire between them, not around them. Like I'm drawing the number 8 in the air. But on the same time, I must make it connection flat, so I'm pressing it with my fingers. I'm organizing the loops just to make them all look the same, and I make them flat. So it's absolutely neat, flat surface. And it looks very nice after polishing. So whatever you try, of course the first connector will be not so beautiful, because you would have to correct it with the pliers oftenly, and the pliers, they're a little bit damaging the thin wire, and the loops will look a little bit different. But just be patient about. So each time I'm moving, I'm turning the wire to the front and only then in the center. Then again to the front and inside of the center. I never do it from the back side. So the same actions, but the result is really beautiful. And it will be very impressive to your friends when you will show this ready jewelry. If somebody who never did it before will never understand how you did it. After patinating and polishing, it looks like monolithic metal. Very interesting look. So now I'm making sure that the my design is symmetrical to the other connector. If, for example, I want to make earrings, because now I'm going to decorate with the crystals my connector, and I'm decorating only on the front side. So make sure that this side is which one you need. If you made the left earring, the right earring must be symmetrical, like in the mirror. So I already showed you how to decorate with the beads of crystals, the wires. As far as I remember, we made a gate bracelet with the small coral beads. Now I'm moving from the H shape winding to the basket winding. So I make 2 loops on the thin wire and 2 loops together on both wires around. My wire is finishing, and I'm fixing it by pressing with the pliers, and I will start the new one. Just correcting the shape of this side of connector, because we are going to make a winding here, and it must be also organized. I love this kind of shape of connectors because you can make many of them absolutely the same, and the combination of these connectors gives a variety of different jewelry. You can make earrings, bracelet, necklace, bracelet with a stone inside between. So variety. Just use your imagination, and you can make a set by using the same style and very simple design of these small parts of jewelry. Make them with a different color crystals and place them in a different way, and you will get the absolutely new jewelry. So I never threw away the pictures I made, which I like, so probably I can use it later on as well. Especially if the design is luckily goes with a big jewelry, so it's easily to connect by using the rings, for example. So easy connecting with each other to create something big and massive, and maybe big necklace created with the same small parts. And especially why I like number 8 winding, because there are some distance between loops, and you can use the thin wire to connect, for example, something, to add something. When you use the basket winding, it's much more rough and sometimes not possible to put the wire between. So that's why I have to use the rings. Not always the movable connections are good. Sometimes just I want to use the wire and connect something strongly, and if I don't want the stone to move, for example, because all rings connections, they are movable connections. But movable connections very good for bracelets, because bracelets are much more comfortable when all elements are moving, because all hands are different, and the hand is moving each time, and if the elements of the bracelet also moving, the wearing of the bracelet is much more comfortable. Whatever if you use the rough bracelet, not moving parts, it's not as much comfortable. It's pressing the skin, it's stuck in the skin, and in the end of the day just you're dreaming to take off this bracelet because it's really disturbing. And of course, if you make a necklace with lots of elements, and if they are moving, it lays on the skin much better, because the neck is also moving. When you're turning your head from one side to other, when you take something from the floor, for example, when necklace made from movable elements, it's adapting to the shape of your breast, of your skin, of your neck. So let's talk about our connectors. Sorry about that, talking too much. So now I'm started to make basket winding, and also I'm using the ring inside, the small loop, so in the end it will be not visible properly. well, I've no sense to show you exactly how to do that because I've shown you many times this kind of winding. So a few seconds just to show you the results. So that's how it looks like. 2 loops, 1 wire, and 2 loops, 2 wires together. The same order as we usually do. And I'm keep on going. And the same way. So here we are, and I will move up till here, and then I will add some more crystals. So that's what we have, and now I will link 2 crystals. This is the first one. And I put the wire underneath the crystals on the opposite side. When we are making the basket winding with the crystals, underneath the crystals themselves there are a bit more space between wires, so that's why it's easier to put the thin one between, just to fix. My wire is already used and damaged many times, so this is only a short end left, and I don't want to cut it, but it takes me some time to straighten it sometimes. Just reminding you that all the work we are making now, we are making on the front side. So before decorating with the crystals, just make sure that you're making it on the side you need. If you're making earrings or necklace, both sides must be symmetrical, so don't forget about it. So my crystal is fixed, and I'm making 2 loops around the wire next to the final loop, and add another one. And fix it into the same way, returning the wire to the loop, I mean the curl with the crystal. So we're coming to the end of our connector. This is the all winding we had to make, so nothing else left to do. And just fixing and ending the work somehow. It depends how long is your wire. Just I will make some loops around the curl. And the last stage is cutting off all the extra wires. So that is it. So the connector is ready. Now I will remove all small wires and show you the other connectors already made and what we can do using these elements. So a little bit patience, and I'm sure you will have the same success as I have. These two ones could be earrings, for example, and these four could be bracelets or necklace. It depends on you. Well, which example should I give? If you add the thicker wire, for example, if this wire could be 0.75 millimeters, just you make a loop and the hook. I already had the video about the earrings, so you know how to make ear hooks, and that would be the earrings, for example. So not really difficult, but very nice result and looking very lovely. So if you add them together, if you connect them together by using wire or maybe opening rings in any position you like, you can add some beads maybe and other connectors, for example like this necklace you can make, or bracelets. Use your fantasy, and each time with the same elements you will create a new design. Just make the interesting ideas which just come into my mind. For example, about the bracelet, I think so. That's how I will use these connectors. If I put the stone in the middle and add some more connectors from both sides just to make it a little bit longer. Looking like that. If I a little bit straight them just to make them absolutely the same, because wire is anyway movable. So if I put the stone in the center, for example, it will be very lovely and a very beautiful bracelet. Or the earrings, whatever you like. Okay, this was a video from Sirena. Give me thumbs up if it's not difficult for you, and see you next time. Cheers.